Mailman's here. Peace, y'all. It's your girl, Mala Esoteric. I got my green shades on. Okay, while here, trapping and navigating in the matrix. And I'm here. Today, we are going to be talking moolah. We're going to be talking cash. We're going to be talking money. We are going to be getting into the esoteric knowledge, into the codes, into the matrix. Okay, we're going to be getting down to the basics. Getting to the basics and out of the matrix. To furthermore make the math. For you to break free of the confines of your mind and the constructs that were intentionally, strategically set up for you to be set up, for you to be struggling, for you to be in lack of mind, for you to be manipulated. Okay? It's time to break free. Now, typically, these type of discussions I keep sacred. Okay? I keep it on my personal portal. I'm probably not going to go too deep, but I'm at least going to plant the seed so you all know where to go when you want to get deeper in the know and really tap into the code, that which is in my secret circle. Okay, you have to join the tribe on esotericgal.com. I highly suggest it, especially for the ladies, because we got a little more offerings and things for the woman. Okay, we have our womb wellness section where we really go deep, and that's not only for the women, because I highly suggest the men learning more about the womb space, what it is and how they can be better womb warriors, better kings, better warriors to amplify and protect all that we are. Okay? So, with that being said, it's for everyone. The Gal is for everyone looking to transform their reality holistically. Okay? So yes, we have a bunch of offerings there for you to explore, for you to utilize, for you to consume, to break out of the confines of your mind, body, and spirit, for you to find ease, for you to find understanding, for you to find yourself, for you to find God, for you to find the amazing gems, okay, within, to in turn become a mindful millionaire in all realms. So yeah, but today we're going to be talking about the moolah. We're going to be talking about the moolah, okay? Moolah oblongata. Not that one, but cash. Especially in these times where people are, quote unquote, in more so hard times and hardships in this reality. So, What is cash? What is money? Think about it. What is it? We know that it's paper, it's from trees, you know. We know it is something that we use to pay for things. It's something that we get when we work for it. When we go to work, so we can put in our time, and in exchange we get this paper to be able to buy food and buy things and buy clothes and get the things that we want. We know that it's something that we have to work for to receive, right? But what is it? Excuse my stomach. I really, that is not me. That is the enemy. Okay. Asking for more things. I just ate a lot. That is a monster growling. A gluttonous monster within the gut that needs to be flushed. Okay. So, what is money, right? What is it? Well, for those who care to know beyond, what we think we know and what we see, okay, what we see it to be, right? For those who care to know what it actually is, because when we know what things are, it helps us maneuver through the manure, right? So, cash money is a form of currency. But when we know the code and we break down the code, the currency is a medium, okay, for our energetic flow. Okay, it's an energetic medium used and brought down into this material world to in turn utilize for the things we want and need. Money is energy, okay? It's a currency, a physical currency that we use in this realm that is manifested and utilized for material things. But before it gets to the material world, it's energy. That's why you have to work for it, right? That's why you have to do things to get it. It goes deep, right? The reason why you're working for it is because through your actions and through your efforts, through your energy, you are bringing forth, you're showing your efforts, and it's generating, the work is generating energetically in an ether and a spiritual and an energetic field, right? And you're showing your efforts, that which will manifest and turn into cash. But the thing about it is, when you don't know these things and you don't know who you are, you don't know what you are, you don't know what you're worth, and you don't care about what you're worth, because some people know that they're working very, very, very hard to only get a little bit. But they're in such desperate need that they will do it and continue to do it instead of make time to make their energy make sense, to actually map out intentionally a way to become a magnet to the field of not only abundance, but currency, to allow the flow to come towards them, towards you, versus you swimming, drowning, and, going towards the flow of cash, working hard and, putting yourself in these races to foresee cash. When you know what cash is and you know how to navigate that energetic field, that force field, well, you become more so like the Flash. You're able to fly through the timelines and through the, force field and navigate and do things at a fast rate while everyone else around you seems to be moving slow. Not that it's a race, but that the fact that you're in the know and you know where you want to go and you go there and you're precise. Your precision is just like a lightning strike, right? So you're able to maneuver through the force field, grab and get what you need and come back all in the same time, where, that saying where people say, well, I have the same, we have the same 24 hours in a day. Sometimes that might trigger people because it's like, they'll still find a reason to say that you're more up than them, though they didn't utilize their timeline in the day, that 24 hours in a day, the way that you do. And they think that you have one up on them, but they didn't get up early. They'll have excuses for why they didn't wake up early, why they didn't utilize their time, their resources, and things like that. Because a lot of them don't know where to start, how to do it, and what to do with their time. They also don't know who and what they are. They also don't have any goals set. They don't have strategy. They don't have a connection to source. So they don't know what portal to utilize. They don't even know anything about the force field. They don't know anything about these things. So they look at you as if you have one up on them, or as if life gave you a better spread of cards, whereas no, your hand was even more shittier, right, than them. But you did the work to really channel and hone in on what the cards you have, and you alchemized it. You utilized it, alchemized it, and strategized a plan and utilized the time that you have and made it make sense. You sacrifice certain things, meals, sleep, and rest on certain days, right? You sacrifice binge watching your TV shows that you like. You sacrifice hanging out with your friends. You sacrifice going out to eat. You sacrifice all these things. You went to the little cheap stores. You went to Aldi's and got all these different fruits, vegetables, and seasoning, and you alchemized your meals to make it taste satisfying. And while when you did tap into the matrix, you watched them enjoy their time, enjoy their money, enjoy their meals at fast or fancy restaurants. Okay, you sat out. You didn't go out to the club. Okay, you didn't make excuses. You downloaded different apps to create strategies, create flyers, create opportunities, connect with different people who are in alignment with your vision, your goals, and you did all these things. And while you did these things behind the scenes, okay, while you did these things, they did their thing. But once all these things came together, okay, it looked like to them, because out of mind, out of sight, it looks to them as if things happen overnight, but they weren't with you shooting at the gym. They weren't with you when you were making ramen noodles. They weren't with you when you decided to fast and eat raw food and make things from scratch. and eat walnut tacos and things, and make your own tortillas out of chickpeas. They weren't with you when you put in that sacrifice and fasted and got closer to God. They weren't with you when you decided to go to church. They weren't with you when you did these things to further propel you, to put not only propel you through the force field, but to ground you, holistically ground you, so that when you were navigating, that you wouldn't get the big headed. So you wouldn't be off track. So when the people and the enemies and the opposition came your way, that you wouldn't be knocked down. Okay, that you wouldn't be distracted, that you wouldn't be disturbed, that you wouldn't be destroyed. When these storms and these things came your way, when people tried to knock you off of your throne. So, what is currency? Current. Okay, the current, the rise and when you think of a current, it's up and down. Up and down. The currents rise and fall. The rise and fall of the sea, both visual and also the flow. Okay, what is the sea? It's a whole world, a realm, a life force, the underground, the underworld, right? The underworld. So the rise and fall of the underworld, the outer world, the inner world, okay? As women specifically, we are connected to the underworld, okay? We are connected to the sea, which is connected to the moon, which is our subconscious. Which is our subconscious, which is the parallel, which is the unseen. So the rise and the fall of the unseen energy and flow is the currency. Okay, that is the currency. How do you elevate your currency? How do you manifest a bigger bag from the underworld, from the inner world? Okay, from the subconscious mind, from the, what else does the moon represent? The satellite, that which is tech, that which is in its own right a magnet. What is it? A magnet. Can't think of the word, but a magnetic force field. Okay, because it has some type of magnetism, okay, to even stay in the frequency or in that cipher, in that orbit, right? So we are already connected in that orbit. We are already connected to our subconscious. We are already connected to our inner world, to the underworld, right? Because it's all a part of us, right? But a lot of people don't know how to tap in. A lot of people just like hearing the word tap in. Yeah, tap in, meaning they think tapping in and paying attention in the outer world. They think that's what tapping in is, to pay attention to everything outside of themselves. People are tapping into everything outside of themselves, that which is paying attention to everything but the inner and underworld, paying attention to everything but the subconscious, packing up and what is it? Running up the storage space of your mind, okay? Disturbing and filling up the subconscious with everything but the things that you are looking to do and manifest, right? Which is paying attention to everything else, which is an energetic debt. You're going in debt in reality because you're paying attention to everything else but yourself. Why are you paying attention to everything else but yourself? And then you wonder why you're tired. You wonder why you're broke. You wonder why you're having nightmares. You wonder why you're dreaming and thinking of all these people that you were paying attention to on your phone. People always telling me that I'm in their dreams. I don't care. Stop. That means you're paying too much attention to me. I don't want to hear. I don't want to know about your dream. Which I would know, if you are ordained, if you are gifted in the dream realm, that's the only time I want to even possibly know. If the Most High tells me that you are the one in that in that field, then maybe I want to know about your dream. But if you're not a dream oracle, which that's already one of my own personal things tucked to the side that I was gifted with from my grandmother, you know, I really don't care about your dream with me in it. That's your subconscious. That's your business. That's your mind. And half the time, the people we see in our subconscious, in our dreams, is not the actual person that is who we are supposed to be telling that. Sometimes, like The Flash, if you watch The Flash, it's different realities, different dimensions. And in these different dimensions, like, I forget the Flash's name, but a person in his reality that is his mother who passed away will come back through the force field or be in a different dimension, and it will have the skin of his mother, but be a total different person in that other world. It just has the skin. We got to realize that this is just the skin. I'm Mala Esoteric here, but you might see the skin in a different realm, dream realm, okay, giving you a message or doing something else or whatever, and it don't give my characteristics, my energy, my voice, anything. But your subconscious is using my skin for whatever reason. You need to pay more attention to the message, the action, the intention, the energy of that entity versus the skin. They're just using my skin in your dream. So I don't necessarily need to know about your dream. That wasn't me. So, like I said, currency, the rise and fall of the underworld, more so than what you see, but the actual seed, the actual flow, the rise and fall of the flow manifested and I want to say brought into this realm, okay? And made into cash, made into a material medium to represent the flow. Okay? Now, what do you do to make it make sense to you? How to make the math now? Okay? Like I said, by paying attention to you, by tapping into you, taking note of your rise and fall, of your energy, of your flow, getting to know the rise and fall of your flow. Where is it do you lack discipline? That's the fall. Where is it that you're gifted? Where is it that you are? I'm talking about top floor. That's your gifts, your strengths, your passions. What fuels you? Okay? What is the innate gift that you've always had, a talent that you always had? So many people are overlooking things that they are fucking fire at because they're too busy paying attention to the next person and what they're famous for, what they're getting attention for, what they're liked for, what they're popular for, what they're popping at, how they look, how much cash they're getting from that. And you're like, I can do that too. I can do that too. She's fire. I'm going to do that too. That's exactly what I can do. I'm going to copy you because you're popular for that. We've all fallen victim to it. Because the Matrix has a way of playing with our minds and making us feel like we have to become somewhat of an agent, because the agents are all lookalikes, right? It has a way of making us feel like we all have to be cookie cutter in order to get a piece of the pie. Right? So the Matrix has a way of, and maybe it's due to the consumption of certain foods and different things that get to our mind and possess our mind into thinking that we need to be like the next agent, like the next person, in order to become successful. Okay, because the agents, and this is encrypted. Okay, they got the suits. Okay, they're strong. They got the army. Okay, and most of the times they have the bag. When you think about the people with the suits, the business people in this reality, they have the bag. So the parasites and the possession and the manipulation and the matrix gets to a lot of our minds and makes us think that we have to do what the next person is doing in order to become successful. And it's all a distraction because we are not tapping in. We are not paying attention to our currency, which is within us. Always has been, always will. It will always be within us. Okay, so once you start, diving into the currency that is within you, then you will foresee all the things that you need to see to come up with a powerful strategy to utilize and in turn cultivate and draw forth the material, to draw forth the cash, because the cash is the last, it's the end of the act. All things happen in the spiritual realm first. All things happen in the subconscious first. So all the work happens in the spiritual, subconscious, and underworld first. The cash is the last transaction. The cash is the last transaction. Now, there are parallels in it of how you can maneuver. Okay? Because let's get into it. A lot of spiritual practices all across the board have tithes and offerings, or just different offerings. A lot of people give offerings to the Orishas. A lot of people do this and that. In the church, you give your tithes and offerings. There's these offerings to the spiritual realm, to the spiritual realm, I'll say that, right? And what does that mean? To give up a thing, whether it's food, whether it's a drink, whether it's liquor, whether it's cash, to give this thing up in this reality is a powerful action, because especially in the realms of cash, because we are giving away something that not only can we utilize to survive, to navigate, okay, but other people can utilize, okay, and we're giving it up to gods or to the elements, to the spirits, or whatever you believe in. We're giving it up, which is a form of sacrifice. It's a sacrificial act, saying, here you go. I trust in the divine flow and currency that it will come back to me 10 times more. I know and I trust in it. So this is my sacrificial act to the Most High, to whomever, right, that you believe in, whoever you align, okay? I am giving this up and trusting in the divine flow of the underworld. I'm trusting in the currency, okay, that this really makes me want to tap in. I have a sister in California that really be tapping in and really be making shit shake. And I don't know if it's stocks, okay, or Bitcoin and all this stuff, but she's able to, and she's my girl. She's smart, okay? She's able to read the charts and predict, okay, the rise and the fall of these strategic graphs. And I don't know nothing about it, but I know something about it, if that makes sense, right? And I look at it when she shares it, and and I'm able to understand it without knowing anything about it. However, when you're able to decode and know the code and understand the vibrational frequency and all these things, when you're able to tap in and realize and understand the code, it's easy to see it, even if it is in a different medium, a different language, a different thing. You can see it's just kind of like a somewhat it's like you understand it. It's like without knowing anything of it. And I say all this to say, once you start really diving into the different realms, especially on the spiritual, energetic frequency, vibration, you're able to understand things in this material and physical world just so differently. You're able to let go. You're able to let God. You're able to not be attached to the physical things here. And when you get to that place in space, you realize how abundantly rich you really are. You're able to know how powerful you actually are. There are people who are spiritually, I'm talking about deeply spiritually, and not only in abundant debt, I'm talking about abundant physical debt. I'm talking about down to their children's children and things like that, due to wanting to receive physical cash in this material world for superficial reasons, and without doing the actual necessary and godly and the right things to do, right? And we should allow these things and beings to just simply be a lesson and a blessing, to show us that's not the best way to go about things, and to pray for them, you know what I'm saying? And to take their route as a sacrifice to the whole as well, for us to know and do better and navigate better. But there's so many million and billionaires whom have sold their soul, not only their soul, but just beyond them, right? In order to be materialistically rich. And because of their ignorance and lack of knowledge and lack of guidance, lack of understanding, lack of protection, they are now abundantly, infinitely cursed. And it's because they were too focused on the material currency versus the internal currency. And so I found it very, very important to share this information, because a lot of people don't know what money is. And a lot of people don't know not only what money is, but who and what they are, and whose and what they are. And so they fall subject to the same things. You don't really have to be a millionaire to sell your soul. You don't have to be a superstar to sell your soul. You don't have to be a singer to sell your soul. People in the hood selling their soul every day by running up in an old lady house, harming children, doing blood rituals by shooting up and closing their eyes, just shooting and hurting and harming pure, innocent children for the sake of being accepted into different cults and groups, and and doing these acts. That's selling your soul. And it's because a lot of people are misguided, immature children inside of adult bodies, lacking love, lacking understanding, lacking guidance. So They fall subject to selling their soul. You don't have to be, like I said, you don't have to be a big millionaire to sell your soul. Who is it? Can I get a minute? Okay, give me a minute. So this is just the beginning to plant the seed for people to understand what money is, so you don't become, because right now a lot of people are possessed by the spirit of possessions. Like, people really feel like they have to have a bunch of things, a bunch of name brand things, a bunch of cash to be something. And that's how I can see and know who is who and what is what. Like, you know, a lot of people really want to put it on, or be put on, and all these things, like, and just have all these material things to feel like something. You got to know that you are something, someone, you are abundant, that you are all these things. If you had zip nada. Because what the fuck is all this earth shit really? What is that really? You know, when you're coming up and you're building and you become successful, that's beautiful. It's great. But you gotta be in a mental, spiritual, a holistic state, that if all of this shit was no more, that you still would have that same character, you still would have that same confidence. That's to be abundantly rich. That's what it means to be powerful. That's what it means to be of God. To know that, to know who and what you are, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of your bank account number, regardless of your amount of likes, regardless of the amount of followers, regardless. Who are you actually inside, and who and what are you doing? You know, not who or what are you doing, but who are you actually helping offline, in person? How many lives are you impacting and changing? And what is your intention behind doing it? Is it to brag and boast about you being her, you being it, you being lit in that realm because you affected and assisted these people? Or are you just doing it out of the kindness of your heart? Are you doing it because God ordained you and asked you and sent you here to do this? What is your intention behind your actions and these transactions? Because, like I said, it all starts in the spiritual and the subconscious. So if your actions and your intentions are not pure, trust me, it's going to catch up to you. It's going to catch up to you in the physical realm. It's going to catch up with you, because these energetic actions manifest into certain transactions happening in the physical reality. So we have to be mindful of these things. We have to be using our mirrors to reflect. We have to be taking these times to reflect. We have to be taking the time to go in. We have to be taking the time to tap in with God. We have to be taking these times to really be mindful, okay, to do our mantras, to remind us of the purpose of our mission, the purpose of this existence, okay? Because it's not about you. That's for another day. However, currency, okay? The rise and fall of the inner and underworld, okay? Of the flow, the rise and fall of your energetic, internal, infinite flow. We're not always going to be riding this high horse. We're not always going to be on a high vibe, okay? Excuse me. We're not always going to be there, okay? But what tools are you using for when you are, you know, on the what is it called, when the water falls? It happens all the time in Panama. We were at this restaurant, the tide, low tide. What are you utilizing? What are you doing? How are you acting? How is your energy? How are you treating people when you are in a low tide? Okay? That's what you need to be worried about. There's so many people that when they're on a low tide, they're treating people like trash. They're not happy, they're miserable, they're grumpy, they're disrespectful, they're nasty, they're bullies. Okay? What is the word? I don't even have the word. Passive aggressive. Okay? Throwing shade, jealous. There's so many people that when they're on their low tide and they're in their lack times, okay? Low tide does not mean you're lacking when you are infinite. When you know that, when you trust in the divine flow, when you know the currency is infinite, you know that there's a time and a season and there's a rise and a fall. Okay, you're prepared for it. You're connected to it. You're connected to the subconscious and the conscious realm. You're in and out of these realms. So you, instead of being lack mind, disrespectful, and nasty when you're on a low tide, you go in or you delve into a different dimension and a different realm and utilize and go elsewhere and utilize your time. You fly out, whether physically or spiritually, and you tap into something else in that time. Okay, you rest in that time. Okay, you journal in that time. You get some self-care in that time. You hydrate in that time. There's so many things that you can do when the tides are low, because you trust and you know in the divine and infinite flow of that currency. But you see, a lot of people don't even think about this. Okay? They go into the panic. They go into panic mode. They go into fear versus knowing who and what they are. I had my son text me. I'll remember another time. But it's, all these things are frequency. That's what it was. A lot of people tap into the fear frequency versus the faith frequency. You know what I'm saying? They tap into the fear. They allow the fear frequency to, consume them versus the faith frequency. Okay, so when the tides are low, you see them just snap. Okay, I'm talking about go off. Okay, take off, attack everything and everyone around them. And that's how you know that all the things that people be talking about, they don't be walking in. They don't actually practice. It's all preach because they are in a position to where it's in their reach. So because it's in their reach, they're able to preach. But when it's not there, what happened to all these modalities? What happened to all these practices? What happened to all these tools? What happened to all that wisdom? What happened to all that guidance? What happened to all that light when it looks dark? You need to be in a position to be able to be the friggin' light in the darkness, because we're coming to a time where a dark age may be upon us. So having all this power in our hands, which is these smart devices, is a time to really be taking what you can and putting it down, writing it down, creating books, doing these things, utilizing this knowledge, doing something with this knowledge, because it's coming to a time where a dark age might be upon us. And we have to become the light again. We have to be the light again. We have to be it, because we are it and always have been. We are the stars. We are the stars. It's in us. A lot of people, that are religious, don't really do the zodiac thing, but it's imprinted on these avatars. Okay, to be portaled and brought in from heaven, to be sent down to the ground, to ground zero, to be ported and portaled in. We have to come through different layers and dimensions. So when we make it through, okay, we have to come through the clock. Okay, I was talking about the flash and the force field. In order to get here into this frequency, into this dimension, into this realm, to the earth, we have to come down through different tunnels, different portals. And when we portal in, okay, that time we come through a clock. And that's what it is to have your natal chart. Okay, that's why it's like a screenshot of you being turning from a starseed into a sperm, going from a shooting star into who you are. Okay? Don't tell me you don't see the alignment between the shooting star and the semen. You had to turn in from a light, okay, to a parasite. Ooh. Yeah. I said on the last thing, okay, I didn't really call the babies parasites, but what do you think it is? What do you think the little swimmers are? Why do you think that when they are inside of us, we get sick? It's a foreign substance that makes you sick. Okay? A philosopher said that the placenta is the baby's, right? The umbilical cord is connected to it, but it's crafted and created, right, from this parasite. It creates a cord and a connection to the mother to siphon the nutrients. It uses the mother's womb space to grow. Okay? So that's why we got to do these acts with the right ones, because you want to at least have a parasite you choose that you're going to love, and that the father loves you, because it's deep. It's deep. So we have to be mindful. It's like we are the ones. This is why it's the age of Aquarius, because it's information that a lot of us didn't get, a lot of us didn't understand, a lot of us, our parents didn't articulate, our parents didn't translate, our parents didn't know themselves. So we are the ones finding out. And what do we do with this information? We have to share it. We have to be mindful so we can break the curse, break the cycle. That's the whole reason why we are portaled in. Okay? 90s babies is something about us. I don't know. I have to do the research. Okay? Something about us. And the time that we were brought in. We are the shift. We are the gift to the shift. Okay? We are able to see the transformation, especially in technology. Not only that in the physical realm, but spiritual. We are able to see a spiritual shift, right? A spiritual shift as well. And then on top of that, we experienced internal shifts. Okay? Different things we experienced, and I don't know if it's just me, we experienced a collective entanglement of it both internally and externally, and we're able to see the connections in the code within these different parallels. And it's important to translate and communicate these things for those who are too distracted, for those who are too those who are not paying attention correctly. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking to you guys right now. Like I said, I typically only do this for my sacred sermons, but I have to do my due diligence on putting this out here for those who are distracted, those who are overwhelmed, those who are in a lack mind, those that are depressed, those are going through so much in life to where they can't see. So this is the call of action so you can tap in and do what you are here to do. That's what the gal is about. That's what esoteric gal is about. That's what the tribe is for. So you can do what you came here for. So you can remember who and what you are, who and what this place is, okay? And then some. We don't need to be stressed. We don't need to be stressed. We don't need to be distracted. We don't need to be discouraged. We don't need to be none of these things. None of these things. So, I hope you enjoyed this divine download that has been uploaded. If you like talks like this, if you're interested in learning more and exploring more in all realms, I highly suggest joining the gal, esotericgal.com, and tapping into our sacred sermons, tapping into our womb wellness education, tapping into the Mind Your Business offerings, okay? The Mind Your Business ebook, the Minding Your Business coaching, whatever you need, okay? Dream readings, okay? All these things, the journey to light. Explore the gal, okay? What is the gal? While I'm here, I'll tell you. The gal is a holy trinity of my brand. The holy trinity of my brand. The mind, body, and spirit is a holistic blend and a holistic offering, okay? For you, for me, for the whole. All right? So when I say the gal, sometimes I'm talking about me. When I say the gal, sometimes I'm talking about the site. When I say the gal, sometimes I'm talking about the gallery, the store. Okay? It's all available. It's all there for all of us. So, yeah. I'm out. I'll see you soon. Peace.